John Eustace conducted his pre-match press conference just yesterday with Dom Dietrich of BBC Radio Derby and made some interesting points regarding the likes of Joe Ward and those players in midfield, the likes of Liam Thompson and Harrison Armstrong. It's really interesting to hear what he had to say about his focus across the course of the next few days of the season, and I'm going to discuss some of the key talking points which I found within that interview. Now obviously we're going to start off with a little bit of the bad news. Joe Ward, who essentially hasn't been in the team much this season, is set to be out for the rest of the season. He's had to have a drain on his knee in order for him to hopefully come back heading for the upcoming season, but whether he'll still be at Derby County or not is anybody's guess. Now, obviously when we're talking about Joe Ward, came into Derby County with huge promise, and ultimately the performances he put in at Peterborough before moving to Derby County were unbelievable, and bringing him into Derby we sort of anticipated it would be more of the same. Now he came into Derby, did fairly decently for the first few games of the season before picking up a severe injury to his heel where he ripped the fat pad off, and obviously that kept him out for I think it was 3 or 4 months, which obviously then allowed Kane Wilson and Ryan Iambi to set their stall in the Derby County side. Now obviously it's unlucky for Joe Ward, and hopefully we can potentially see him back next season, or potentially move him on somewhere so that we can hopefully replace him as a squad option and have someone who's actually going to be fit and available. Now obviously then moving forward he made a lot of comments about the likes of Liam Thompson, Harrison Armstrong, but he wanted to make it clear that whatever he's doing with the young lads, Liam Thompson, Harrison Armstrong, etc., he's also doing with the other more experienced lads as well. And it all comes down to the players trusting in him, trusting in his coaching staff, and ultimately them trusting in each other. Now, obviously, when we talk about the likes of Liam Thompson, the likes of Harrison Armstrong, I think they've been unbelievable since coming back into the side. Obviously, Harrison Armstrong came into the side for Middlesbrough. I thought he was probably on course for man of the match that day. You obviously then go Liam Thompson came in for the Blackburn Rovers game, and I think he's been really good in both games. I know a lot of people don't really see a lot in Liam Thompson, but for me, I think he adds unbelievable quality in the way he works, the way he runs around the pitch. He's always sort of on someone's tail, and I think that's really important. I think if you go back a few years to the likes of Jason Knight, very, very similar player in the sense of just always on your tail, always ratting around your ankles, trying to get that ball from you. And that's exactly what Derby County need. We've got two players who can do that in Ibu Adams and Liam Thompson. You've got Harrison Armstrong who's sort of dictating it in that midfield. And obviously Liam Thompson does have the technical ability to make a difference as well. Now, obviously, as we head forward into, I think it's the final 9 games of the season with Plymouth Argyle set to come up on the weekend, it's one of those for me where I do believe that Derby County can obviously secure this great escape. And it realistically, John Eustace didn't want to put too much pressure on this weekend's fixture because obviously it's really important to pick up points whoever you're facing. Doesn't matter whether they're in your team, whether they're not in your, whether they're in your sort of battle or whether they're not in your battle, as we saw with the 2 victories that we've just picked up between Blackburn and Coventry. Now, obviously over the course of the last few weeks, I've spoken about giving youngsters an opportunity because it looked as if we were down and out, and obviously, rightfully, some people have said that I was being stupid, and that's fair enough if you want to think that, but it's okay to say that with hindsight. Like, if you'd have said that 2 weeks ago, a lot of people would have probably called you stupid. So it's one of those things for me where I think John Eustace has got the right balance of giving Liam Thompson an opportunity to shine, but also making sure that we've still got the experienced heads in the squad. And that's really important for me. And it's going to be really important over the next few weeks to see the likes of Owen Eames, Charles Abuka, sort of get more integrated with that sort of first team squad as we see Harrison Armstrong heading for international duty. Now, obviously, there's a lot of talk about injuries, and we obviously have a wide range of them, and there's a lot of talk about how we can deal with them. But obviously it's one of those situations which John Eustace has often, across the course of his press conferences, made it clear we are fighters, not victims. And that's what he seems to be pushing across for the Derby County fans. And that's something which I really appreciate from John Eustace, because for me, in my personal opinion, you go back to the administration season of 2021, at no point did we make ourselves victims. We lost 21 points. Yeah, cool. We lost players in January. We lost players throughout the summer who ultimately probably would have stayed on and helped us potentially stay in the division, but we weren't allowed to register them. But we just got on with it. Yes, Wayne Rooney wanted to bring in players, wanted to register players, and there was a time when we couldn't even register under 21s, which obviously then got changed by the EFL. But it's one of those for me where we've got to keep that mindset of we are a bigger club. We are one of the big clubs in the Championship. Ultimately, performances might not show that right now, but we are one of those big clubs. I think we're probably second or third in average attendance. I think our fan base is humongous in comparison to some of the teams in our division. That's something which cannot be understated, especially heading into this game against Plymouth Argyle, which I believe is a sellout away from home. And Derby County consistently sell out away from home, consistently top the numbers of the ticket sales. And it's very interesting to see how much of an impact that has on the squad, and how much John Eustace's words about not being a victim, about continuing to fight, has really helped spur on this fan base. And you go back to Coventry City post-game where he was talking to, I think it might have been Ed Dawes, or it might have been Dom Dietrich, I cannot remember for the life of me, I do apologise. But he was talking about getting this club back to the Premier League. Now, we heard Paul Warne talk about the Premier League, I think once, in the entire time that he was at the club, and it was never sort of the focus of getting the club there. Yes, he wanted to make the club a stable Championship team, and obviously it was going to take time to build towards that, but it was never sort of, right, this is what we're here for, and this is what we're trying to do. And that's what I think John Eustace has instilled in this, not just the group of players, but also the fan base, which has really brought back that fight and that spirit and that determination as we head towards arguably the most important 9 games in our history since the administration period. And that is just the situation we find ourselves in. We go back a year from now and we were battling to secure automatic promotion. Now we're battling for our lives in the EFL Championship to secure another £10 million of TV revenue, to secure a potential investment deal that could come over the summer if we stay in the Championship. And obviously you've then got those conversations of potentially securing maybe even a takeover, not just an investment deal. And that's something which will be massive for John Eustace. I've got videos coming out over the course of the next few days about the likes of investment, the likes of the rebuild that Derby County are going to face. And that's what we need to look at over the course of the next few weeks. Whether we're in League One or the Championship, this rebuild is going to be massive, and John Eustace is going to need a war chest to do it. Do I have faith that John Eustace can keep Derby County in the Championship? Absolutely. Yes, we looked down and out 10 days ago, but where are we looking right now? Right within the fight. Now, a loss on Saturday could put us right back to the foot of the Championship, but a win could take us 2 points clear of those relegation places. We all know what Derby County need to do. The players know, the staff know, John Eustace knows, and we've just got to go in and fight for our lives. Our home form is going to be what keeps us up, in my opinion. I think potentially 3 or 4 more wins would keep us in this division. You can obviously have your say and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County content that's heading your way across the course of this season. Hit that like button as well to help push this video to brand new audiences, and I'll catch you in my next video.